if this is about the end game scenario of Aaron Rodgers, the career-ending scenario for Aaron Rodgers, if that's what this is essentially all about, and him wanting a contract in dollars and in terms that gives him the ability to script his career ending, similar to what happened with Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo, right? That the only way that this would lead to him not finishing his career with Green Bay is if he wants to play till he's 45, like Tom. If that's what this truly is all about, then why in the hell would he okay a trade to Patrick Mahomes' division?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Like, why would that be a more acceptable? Yeah, you know what? I want to just pitch, at least for this coming year, following up the MVP by leaving the division with Goff and Justin Fields, or at the time Dalton, and Cousins. Yeah, let me just throw my hat into the Mahomes twice-a-year ring. That makes no sense to me. Zero. And to be able to pull off a trade of Rodgers on draft day, I could not imagine a more trafficked, everybody else is busy day than draft day. Like, the trade of Rodgers doesn't get pulled off on draft day just because the ugliness that's gone on behind the scenes has been revealed publicly. That just, none of it made sense to me. The thing that made sense to me, would have made sense to me, is if there was a trade with the Broncos for Jordan Love. That would have made sense to me. That, okay, this thing became ugly, and we're done. We're going to give the contract up. And Uncle, we made that wrong choice last year. Jordan Love's gone. Rodgers has proved he clearly is at the top of his game for many more years to come. Jordan's gone. He's officially Jimmy G. Now he shows up to Denver. Denver gets their quarterback of the future, and the Packers get to choose Patrick Surtain as opposed to the corner that they eventually took anyway. And whatever would come with Jordan Love as well, what would Green Bay also get? Would they have to give up another two because Jordan Love is pretty damn good? Would there be any more of a transaction than just the first overall pick that the Packers, by pissing off Rodgers, turned a 26th overall in 2020 into an 8th overall in 2021 in the form of one of the top corners that TJ wanted, for the Cowboys. So that would have been more feasible to me than Rodgers getting dealt last night.
Is this just the same type of thing that we've seen all offseason? The smoke, the Russell Wilson smoke, the Deshaun Watson smoke. Is it just it's an uncomfortability because Aaron Rodgers doesn't feel appreciated, and the Packers are simply not going to move off this, or
I don't know.
Do we see something happen?
None of us really know. I mean, we're all wildly speculating.
Right.
All of us.
Right.
I mean, absolutely every last one of us. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not there at the granular level. I mean, I don't know if the Packers, refused to meet, Aaron, and then reluctantly flew out, or they immediately flew out and Rodgers left them cooling their heels. I mean, again, these are, or it's just been a normal, like, let's talk. And then they just refused to meet Aaron's terms in a manner that they felt that Rodgers wanted. Again, these are everything I just said is all either wildly speculative or, educated guesses. We have no earthly idea. None. Did they maybe not send a note, congratulating Aaron on
his engagement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who the hell knows about a personal relationship between two business partners, which is really what it is? None. I have no idea at all what's gone on between the two of them. None of us have either. Rodgers all year long was totally kumbaya about everything, won an MVP, and then saw a guy who, after 20 years of a relationship football-wise comes into his house with his new team that's been all built for the remaining window of
his career,
the quarterback's career, and beats Rodgers in a game in which Rodgers is removed from the field on 4th and goal for a field goal. Like, I don't know if that's got something to do with it.
I mean, the whole narrative.
Starting quarterback in 2021, Ryan.
I feel like that too. I feel like if there is a guy that actually has the power or leverage to say, hey, you know what, good luck. You guys haven't helped me. I'm not going to help you through this process. I'm going to go live my life, and I can do it. It's Aaron.
I got to tell you, Ryan. We said on the show, Chris and TJ, right? I mean, I talked with you guys about it a couple weeks ago, and I've told the viewers and listeners of this show over and over again, the news when a quarterback restructures his contract is dog bites man story. The news of quarterback refusing to restructure his contract is man bites dog. That's the one where you got to go, well, something's up here. Because all contracts are negotiated between quarterback and team to know, well, at this point in time, we're going to come to you and we'll restructure and whatever. But when Rodgers said no, that's when it's just like, okay, what's up with that? When Mahomes says, okay, I'll restructure my contract, that's like, well, they probably planned that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, again, it's going to come down to it. Certainly now that the first round has been, handled, that for Rodgers to be traded, it is going to take a much longer time than just a couple of hours after Schefter drops something on a draft night. When could you imagine you're the Denver GM, right?
Yeah, having to make their choices, and this is happening in their purview. Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, and they're talking about, do we get Justin Fields? Could we get Trey Lance? Is it possible? What if Mac Jones is there? What if Surtain's there? And they probably have 15 trades that they've already talked about with 15 other partners that they've already talked about. And all of a sudden they turn on the TV and it's public, what no doubt everybody's not known behind the scenes. Honestly, the report that Tom Pelissero put out yesterday, I think it was yesterday. It all blends together. I think it's Tom was on with you guys yesterday, that the Niners called the Packers saying, do you want 3 overall for Rodgers?
Yep.
And the initial response is like, uh-oh. So the Niners traded all that to go up to 3, to grind tape for a month, only to come up with the concept of, well, we got to go YOLO on Rodgers because we don't really believe in these guys, to after that report going, well, no kidding, they're calling up about Rodgers if you've heard about all this stuff. And you have to do that. But they love Trey Lance, and for good reason. So, put it all together. Could you imagine you're Denver and you're doing all this stuff, and then all of a sudden it's just like, well, we got to call Green Bay.
We got to vet this thing out a little bit here to make sure we're doing the right thing.
But that's why I'm saying, to me, the possibility would have been the Packers calling uncle on everything and trading Jordan Love. Because you can't trade Rodgers for the 9th overall selection in a draft. What, are you kidding me? You couldn't even do it for 3 because you're not trying to acquire a quarterback.
Right.
You already got your quarterback. That's the reason why Rodgers is available. So the fix is get rid of the other quarterback, sign Rodgers, get a draft choice that's in top 10 to actually supplement Rodgers, or the team while Rodgers is happy in the remaining window of opportunity. That's what my ears were peeled for last night.
But instead, they don't do anything, and they take a cornerback out of Georgia that wasn't really considered to be.
Well, I don't know. Who knows, man? Because that's the other problem, and I mentioned this on the draft last night, is like that was part of the problem of the Jordan Love pick is like, okay, so you're not going to give offensive help to Rodgers. At least give him the defensive help after the Niners torched you in the NFC Championship game. They didn't even do that.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.